Hello guys and welcome back. In this video today we're going to be talking about Solana and is it finally going to reach over the 200 EMA. So if you haven't already, subscribe, drop a comment, support our channel, and click that bell and follow us up for more analysis and news that we post on here. Alright, so taking a look at Solana right now, Solana is trading $21.02 at the US dollar. It has been quite a rough start. It is starting to kind of go down a little bit compared to what it was showing back here on the, well, let's see, the 14th of January. This is where we actually seen that big shot up and then it just kind of like started to fizzle out. But really, why is that kind of happening? And what's taking place here? If we take a look right here, we can see we have a couple of notes. Just let me show you. All right, here and here are some big signs of that rejection. So coming back and touching here of that previous support. So the resistance here was taking place by the previous support, sorry, tongue-tied today, and we have that was coming down. Now, if we go back into the further in the timeline, of course, this is the daily chart, we can see again that we had this moment here was kind of acting as, let me just pull, acting as your support as well, and that rejection line. So anywhere from here, you can see it was really big shots from not only that, from the 17th of April, we had this on the 24th of May, and back in June the 21st. So it was kind of weird around that same time if you pay attention to that, right? So that big rejection that happened on that. So I mean, literally just like almost in the same day. So April 19th, right? And then we have May 22nd, 23rd. And again, here we've seen that big moment here of that rejection on the 21st. So it seems like something to do with that. I'm not quite sure, but it's something to pay attention to and dig into a little bit further. However, taking a look what we have exactly in this moment, right? So we are kind of, honestly, if you really look at it, it's kind of healthy because we have that pump, that retracement, that pump, the retracement pump, and what this is doing is it's getting ready to kind of go out. If you pay attention to how it's really kind of starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller, it's a good sign. Now, if we're looking at the MFI, it's sitting around 39.40 in this moment. And if we're looking at the MACD, you can see it's kind of separating, which is continuing to go down. But I do believe once we kind of get closer to around the 19, 18 and a half mark, if this starts to consolidate a little bit more, get a little bit tighter, and then we can see that really big uh, change in momentum is what we're looking for. I think we could potentially start to reach around 25 and giving with it, I mean, 23, 24, 25, something like that between 23 and let's say $26, we should really start to see it to break over that. And once that happens, there's going to be so much push that's going to be covering in and pushing that up and up and up. And of course, coming right back to that moment we were being rejected around the $26 line. And because, I mean, if you think about it, $26 is not far. I mean, we were inching right there at it, pushing, pushing, knocking, knocking, knocking. We have one knock, two knock. I mean, honestly, like some good strong knocks here, but it was done. And so we just now need to kind of, well, reanalyze of what's going to happen as far as the momentum goes. More people really need to see what's paying attention. But Solana has had its moments. But is it possible? It's very, very possible. I think three times the charm. So if we can just kind of build back that momentum back to where we were around 26 mark and push through it, so it's not incredibly impossible. Even if we just make our charts, our lines here. Let's see, let's call it here, right? Even as we get to this pinnacle moment here, if we can break past that, you'll start to see it, and that can be done within the next week or so. So just kind of giving you a rough shot around that is a possibility. And it's not, I mean, it's not exactly solid, but if you kind of pay attention to not just this market structure here, but also in previous market structure, we can use that as a resistance line and our trend line going down. If we could break past that, I have one or two good momentum candles coming in, and which it looked like this right here. And think about it, today it's being the prices of the lower prices are being rejected some. We still have 16 hours in that mark. So if we can kind of push that up and flip this around and move up and give a little bit stronger momentum candle in today, I mean, 16 hours, you never know what's going to happen. And then let's say tomorrow or the next day, we can kind of see where we're going to push from that moment. And this is just the daily candle. If we go down, let's say for the 4 hour mark, right? The 4 hour mark is showing green, and we need to keep that momentum up as well. Now, the previous 8 hours that we have is not so hot, but it does show that it can actually start to kind of come over and pass that. So to give you that hope, that's what we're looking at this moment. But not only Solana do we also have Bitcoin. What's happening with Bitcoin? We were talking about this last couple of times I covered a video with you guys. We were sitting at around 21, 22. Today we're sitting at 21,836, and where that resistance was coming in around 23. The same thing where we're talking about Solana, for example, uh, pushing over, knock. Why I say, and you've probably heard me say this quite a few times, we need a few day candles kind of settling in over this quite well is because, for example, we're coming in right here and you can see it started to build that momentum. We broke past that support, or I'm sorry, that resistance, and a lot of people jumped in and bought. But a lot of people feared that it would go down, and that's where you're seeing from that drop. And of course, it kind of fought back and forth for the last couple of days. However, they did fear that it would drop, and then well, it did. And coming from that, so then it's fighting, and because you're meeting all of this resistance and stop losses that are really pushing that down from previous support, previous resistance that kind of came in. So you have that moment, right? And this is what we were talking about from way back in December of 20. That's market structure is still there, and people still follow that. So you're kind of fighting against the masses. If we're speaking about today, right? So we can call this right here the 22,653 and around area. It can be really well, it can be quite problematic because if you think we're not going to say this area, sorry, wrong one. Uh, this is an area, right, that we should pay attention to, not just one, well, singular line that can happen, right? So in this moment, this is where you're going to see some push and pull, and now this is rather sloppy, but you can kind of come in and pay attention to see what's really going down. We need to break out of that and get right back up to this previous one. So once we get out of this moment, and this is acting as a support level around 21, let's just call it even around 2100 is that support level. And once we kind of break out of that a little bit, we can expect to see some more resistance around 22 and a half. Let's say 22 and yeah, 22 and a half. And then once we get around 22 and a half, we need to fight back to where we were and push in, and it can happen. It's not impossible, but that's what we're looking at. Uh, so we're paying close attention to right here and where we're going to see if it's a good entry point or an exit point or however your trading strategy goes, if you're day trading or if you're long-term investing, right? But either way, we are still in a bull market, and that's a good positive thing. And of course, we have these ups and downs. You're not, chances are, if you're watching this video, you're not new to the game, right? Paying attention to Ethereum. Now, I've always loved Ethereum. I've always paid close attention. It's kind of where my heart beats. Now, Ethereum, of course, just like Bitcoin, it does coincide together. We had that same thing happening, right? Now, this was a big symbol. If you pay attention back here, when it started to go down, we had that moment and that huge wick went up and it got rejected. That was a moment, and especially this one. Let me just kind of put a little emphasis here, right? You were probably watching right here, expecting it to go up, right? And I'm just going to kind of like scroll out just a little bit because this is from the last video we made. This is what we're talking about. This is the next level. Paying attention to. We You were paying attention to that. See if it's going to break above, because this was what we had labeled before as our resistance line, and we needed to break above that. Now, you were paying attention to this one. You watch that candle to see if it's going to go up. And then boom, that next candle really kind of gave that wick and people started to freak out and it dropped. And in that moment, that's where you've seen that huge momentum, big bear candle kind of come in. And now we're kind of fighting and trying to balance back up. Where's our support right now? Well, I would really call mm between 14 and 77 is going to be our really solid support line. Don't like to hear it, don't like to see it, but that's kind of what we got in that area. So that moment is good, but are we still in the bull here? Yeah, we are. Are we getting closer and closer to kind of dropping below that 200 EMA? Yeah, we are. Now we're just kind of moving sideways at this point. Not enough information, not enough data to really kind of go on and make any kind of trend lines here. But we're just kind of moving sideways minus that drop back on the ninth. So it's something to pay attention to right here. But if we can break past the 1590, 1600 mark, it'd be a good time to really start setting alarms and paying attention to what's happening in this moment. But overall, it's still pretty good. We have the MFI sitting at 52 and 24. We also have the MACD kind of going down. Of course, that's previous decline here, but we need to see that momentum candle. And just like I said, we have around 16 hours left of the trading day to pay attention to. All right. As far as the market as a whole, checking out crypto bubbles, Bitcoin is up by 0.2%. Ethereum is down by 0.6%. Binance is up by 2.3%, which is good. Cardano, never been a big fan, but 0.9%. Sol is up by 1.2%. Good paying attention to it. Also, watch out for Atom, see what it's going to do. AVAX and Matic. So AVAX is sitting at minus 1.5%, Matic's at 3.4%. A lot of red, but not too terribly bad. If you're down for Terra Classic, if you're still kind of following along with this, it's at 0.00172. For the daily, it's up by 1.5%. The hour is up by 2.3%. A year, of course, horrible. Week is down by 8.7%, and the month is 2.8 as well. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Do hit that bell, subscribe right here in the bottom, and I will see you guys next time.